Old school.
Young Buck, what's going on with you, baby?
Not much, man. It's Tuesday. Got the club
Yeah, it
going
is.
up on a
Yes, it is.
Tuesday. How you
Another
feeling today,
another
brother?
wonderful, another wonderful one, man. Another wonderful. Can't wait to
Yes,
get into
sir.
this broadcast for the day, man. How your week been so far? Did your Sunday and your Monday? How it been?
Man, Sunday was very busy.
When
We
it
got
though?
up. We got up around 6 o'clock. Went to Allen
Damn.
Temple and today's sunrise service, which was pretty good. Their pastor, so I tell you all the time, it's like I like going to Allen Temple because I can sit there and just be fed. Well, not no more. I gotta find me another church to go to sit there and be fed because she came up there, boy. I tell you, and she started like just saying hey to everybody. Then she was like, and other ministers, and then she looked dead at me, and I said, "Oh Lord." And then she asked me to go up there. She asked me to sit up there. I was like, "Nah, I'm all right." I like, I just want to sit down here. I just want to be with the folk. And
Right,
then she
right.
gets up there and she was like, "Well, I'm gonna put this person on the spot, even though he don't want to come sit next to me." And me and Tanisha just started laughing. And she had me do the altar prayer, and she gave me a big hug. She was like, "Just pray for the people." So I prayed, man, and everybody was like, "I really enjoyed that prayer." I said, "You did?" Because, boy, I was up there sweating for the Lord. I'm here, I'm trying to tell you, I was sweating for the Lord. But man, we had a good time. Had a good time at Allen Temple. Then we left there, tried to grab a quick bite to eat.
Hmm.
Then of course we had service. Had service over there, at Love for Life, and
Hmm.
listened to you preach that word. And
Yeah.
then after that, man, we went to the concert to see Pastor London Kelly and Together as One do their thing, and man, they had a good time.
Man, there
So
we go.
it was a long day. It was a long day. And
But it was
well,
good. It was good.
yes, it was. Yes, it was. And then yesterday, what did we do yesterday? I don't remember. Apparently, wasn't that big. I mean, we just getting ready. We're going to Orlando tomorrow, so
Okay.
pretty much getting ready for the trip. The house looks a hot mess because stuff is everywhere. But once we start putting it in the actual luggage, then the house will start coming back together. Man, we got
Right.
clothes everywhere. We're trying to figure it out. I'm starting to be like some of these women, man, and have my clothes just laid out or just laid out. Be like, on this day, I want to wear this. I remember them times where I really didn't care what I wore. I was just, but now I'm starting to feel myself, I guess.
I
They say
I
you
feel
start
you.
working out, you start feeling yourself a little bit more. So now I
Right.
had to go and I had to set my outfit up and stuff. But man, I'm telling you, I was upset Sunday. Man, when I tell you I'm gonna hurt some folk, cause when I step out, I step out. So
Right,
when I
right.
tell you I'm gonna hurt some folk with what I was gonna wear, man, I had a nice cream suit, brown shirt, brown hat. I'm talking about sunglasses, shoe. Man, I was ready to step, and none of that stuff came in on time. So now y'all just gotta wait to see that step again. You gotta wait to see it. I mean, I even bought Tanisha a dress to match the suit. Like, man, we was ready to step on Sunday. We were
Wow.
trying to
Okay.
be like the man. We were trying to be like the other folk, but I guess Jesus said, "Nah, bro, you ain't that person. You wait. You gonna wait on that suit. That ain't who you are. So you
Right,
gonna
right.
wait." And then turned out Pastor Kelly told me he giving out $100 for the best dressed person. I started looking around. I said, "Well, it ain't me." Cause I'm very comfortable today because it definitely ain't me. I ain't gonna get
Yeah.
that $100. But man, it was Sunday was busy, but it was very good, man. We had ourselves a good time. Yesterday was pretty relaxing and everything. So what about you?
Hey, about the same. Got up Sunday, came on
Mm-hmm.
over here to the church as usual. Did all things Sunday. Then we
Mm-hmm.
went to the gospel concert as well. And
Mm-hmm.
Monday, man, I spent Monday um all day we trying to get this van up and going. So I was over here Monday, we over here today, trying to make sure, we take care of this business, get the van up and going. So, when it's time to pick more people up for church, we ain't gotta be trying to pile everybody up in cars. We don't been
Mm-hmm.
blessed with a van, so we gotta get it up and running. So That's what my days have been. Cause y'all going to Florida. I'm going in the opposite direction. I'll be in Washington. I leave for Washington
Yeah, you
tomorrow.
going to DC?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
you going
I'll
you
be
going
up
to see
into
crazy?
yeah.
Yeah,
I'll be up into DC until Saturday, I think. Yeah.
until
So
Saturday.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So and then
Okay.
when I come back, I'm gonna come back home next week to go to sleep and be gone for another week. So it's
Mm,
just one of those times, man. When we get to rolling, we be rolling. As they say,
yeah.
keep a suitcase packed. Cause I remember one time I would leave like I could do like 3 days in Tennessee, then have to leave from Tennessee, and then maybe have to go on up north somewhere when no coming home. Cause I have to go pick up north, spend 3 4
Mm-hmm.
days down there, come on back down a little bit, more spend 3 years. They had to keep a bag packed and keep some
Mm.
water so you can wash clothes on the road.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Are you getting some sleep? Because man, right now you can actually go on the bus and drive now because you carrying some luggage up under them eyes. Carrying some luggage. Are you getting some sleep, man? You got to get some sleep, brother.
Well, the beautiful part about tomorrow is we doing what they call the relay, so we gonna drive a
Mm-hmm.
car. And I'm
Okay,
not going by myself. So
that's
like
good. Okay.
once like we talked before we came on camera, once nephew get done, hopefully that's all he have everything done to the car. We won't have to worry about that no more.
Mm-hmm.
And tomorrow when we leave, right, I don't have to start driving.
Okay.
We going 9 hours up. I think we going to Raleigh, North Carolina. That's where we're gonna relay
Okay.
at. I think that's
Yeah,
like
I've
right
been
at
up there.
9 hours. So
Yeah.
so we gonna split the driving time. I ain't gotta be the first one to drive. I'll be with brother Kenny. Me and brother Kenny going.
Oh yeah,
We got
brother Kenny. Oh, that's gonna be
yeah,
that's gonna be some fun.
man.
Cause
Shoot,
brother
that's gonna be
Kenny
some
is a
sleep.
hoot.
That gonna
Brother
be some
Kenny
sleep
is a
while he
hoot.
driving. I'm sleeping. I promise you. I'm telling you now.
I feel that.
Hey,
I feel that.
like
I
you say,
feel
this
that.
right here, man. Shoot, hey, I get up and I come right over here trying to get this van situation taken care
Mm-hmm.
of before I actually hit the road.
Yeah,
We
shout out
already
to our brother for donating the van to the church too, man. We shout
yeah,
out
yeah.
to him. You know, we gotta make sure we give good shout out to Bishop Wheat and
Bishop Wheat.
Bishop Wheat and Tech for donating the van to us, man.
Mhm.
Really love y'all for that. Yeah,
Yes,
man.
sir.
So look, man, last
Bro called
season.
me. He
Oh,
said,
go ahead.
bro called me. He said, call he clean. He got a yard full of cars. So he called me. He called me. He said, bro, if you want it, I need you to come on and get it. Now I got some stuff I'm trying to do,
Mm-hmm.
so I had to hurry up, man. I tell you, I wish my wife could post pictures, man. Y'all should have seen that thing when we got it, cause it been sitting up. He ain't been driving it.
Mm-hmm.
It been
Yeah, I
running
need to
hot.
go get that
So
Camaro up off on.
yeah, man, he got man. But
We
when
gonna
when
let
I
that
tell
go though.
you, that myself, Pastor Johnson, my wife, Lady Diane, man, when I say came over here and put some elbow grease into that thing, bro, you can't even tell. Can't even tell that
Mm-hmm.
thing been. I think it's been sitting up like over a year.
Mm.
Just been sitting there. So you looking at pollen and leaves and a little mold here and there, cause
Right.
it's just been sitting, But man,
Yeah.
when I tell you, it's looking good. It's
Yeah.
looking good.
Yeah.
So he like he blessed us with it. He said, bro, you can get it. You just got to get it fixed. And the only thing it's doing is
Mm-hmm.
running hot. So we going everything new radiator, new thermostat, new water pump. That's what's fine with nephew right now. That water pump is beaming, but but once we get all that stuff gonna be brand new. Hey, thank God we're gonna have a van we can actually drive around in and pick some folks up to get to the house of the Lord. Man, I'm excited.
Amen. That's a blessing. That's a blessing.
I'm
That's a
I'm
blessing.
excited.
Let's check it out. Let's see who we got today. Hey, Mama Francis, how you doing? Good evening to you. To
Ramsey.
Tanisha came on and said, "You heard her. You haven't been in it long enough to shoot her." That is so true. Look, before we get started, like before I continue, like she did tell me that, like right after the service on Sunday, because remember she had asked me to come up there, and I was like, "Nah, I'm good. I don't need to sit up there." And she came to me. She said, "You ain't been in ministry long enough to tell me no." I said, "Well, excuse me. I'm sorry." Well, I'm sorry. What's going on, Uncle Ramsey, man? Thank you for joining. Thank you for
Hey,
joining. That
now
hey, that
that's somebody we need to get on.
oh
That
yeah.
hey,
Oh yeah.
that hey, that
We get
hey.
him on there.
See, man, listen. You talking about got a story, man. Visionary, talented. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Movie
I
writer. He
mean, he
don't
was the
did.
first. I think he was
Yeah,
the
I think.
first in the family to have the podcast. He had just kicking it with Ramsey.
Yep. He
Yeah,
was
I
the
was on
first,
it
and
a
I
couple
think
of
you was on
episodes.
that. You was on that with
Hmm.
him. Yeah,
Yeah, I was on there a couple
You
of
was on
episodes.
just kicking it with him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think he don't did. I think he don't did two or three movies. He don't wrote a couple of books. He a songwriter, man.
His
Hey,
wife wrote a book. Just
yeah, I
yeah.
heard. I
Y'all go
heard
get
she
my
don't.
auntie book.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get it. Yeah, yeah.
Y'all
So
go
hey,
get my auntie book.
that's a talented brother, man. We ever get the time, we gonna have to get him on and pick his brain.
Yeah, yeah. While we have, because we got a guest today, so while we have that, I'm gonna go grab the information for my auntie book so y'all can have it for real, so we can go, so everybody can go and run it up and pay them bills for 'em. Yes, sir. But so look, we got a special guest today. We
Special guest.
we stop your mess. We
What? Pastor Johnson sitting right here. He heard me. I said
yeah. I got
special guest.
Minister Johnson going that special lady. But we last season we had a guy come on to talk to us about life insurance. You know what we want to do is, like, if we have someone that can give us any type of knowledge or anything to share with us, we try to bring it to the people as always. So I have a friend of mine from the bowling alley. We met in the bowling alley. I think she kicked out behind the first time I met her. But we ain't gonna talk about it. But she does things with money, so she's gonna teach us about how to manage money, how to what to do with money when they come in, and everything like that. So want to welcome everyone, or welcome her to the show. Let me get a hold on. I hit the wrong button. I'm sorry. Welcome her to the show, Miss T.
Hey,
Welcome, welcome,
hey.
welcome.
Hi.
Welcome, Miss T.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you very much. Good to be
I
here.
I always say her name wrong, so I call her Miss T. Today, but I'm gonna try. I'm gonna say Tahira or
So
Tahira.
you have to let it flow. Don't try
Okay.
to
See,
Tahira.
see,
Huh. Huh. Tahira.
Tahira. Okay, I
That's
tried too
it.
hard.
That's
That's
it.
what it was. I
We're
tried
trying
too
too
hard.
hard. Yeah.
And we ain't gonna try that last name.
Mm-hmm.
We
I
gonna
bet you
leave it
can't say it
alone.
10 times fast.
Well, have you heard? Okay. Have you heard of Abdullah? Right.
Uh-huh.
Right.
You guys are men of God. So Abdullah. So this is just
Mm-hmm.
spelled Abdallah or Abdallah,
Abdallah. I like
meaning servant
Abdallah.
of God,
Feel like I know
servant of
something.
Allah.
I like that.
Okay.
Mhm.
Put that in the books. Don't go preaching about it. Don't go preaching about it, old school. Though I know you could go preaching about the name.
I will
You
get
go
and
preaching about
listen. I give her credit for a week. After a week, it's open season. I'm just
it.
saying. You
I mean,
got credit for
her
good
name.
stuff for a week. After that,
That's
hey,
her name.
it's open domain. I'm just saying.
That's her name
Right?
though, man. That's her name. How you feeling today?
I feel pretty good. I feel pretty good.
That's
I feel
good.
like I'm always ready, to talk, teach,
Okay.
Yes.
educate, be present. So I'm here.
Yes.
All right.
So
Don't make us broke
before
people
we
feel bad now.
before you get started though, can you talk about all those awards you got behind you? Good. I need to I got work behind me. It's nothing
But
but work to do over here. I get another task list.
that's funny you say that. Actually, they have other people's names on them, namely my kids. Um,
They
you
doing some
might
they doing some
see you
stuff.
Yeah, you might see one for me, but you can't really see that completely. No, you can't see it at
Okay.
all. Yeah. Yeah. So I
Okay.
trade. So there is one where I $1,000 in a day club, and that was back in
Got you.
2020. Yeah.
Okay, that makes perfect sense now. That makes
Yeah.
perfect sense. All right, so what you got for us today?
Well, listen, the way that I like to, I guess, talk with people. I don't like to talk to people necessarily. I like to
Mm-hmm.
talk with people, right? So I like it
Mm-hmm.
going both ways. But I'm here today just to share insight into what happens when $1 hits your account. What happens when,
Mm-hmm.
whether you have a W-2 job or you work for yourself, when that money finally lands in that bank account, where does it go? That's
Mm-hmm.
where I like to start with most people.
I can tell you, it go to Comcast,
The
it go
bills,
to
yeah.
Atlanta River West Apartments, it goes to T-Mobile, it goes to Greystone, and then I might see a little bit of it, and that goes to Lucky Strikes, Delk Road, Bolero, Austell,
Yeah.
uh, and, and then and then I still end up it went to the Lord. So I can tell you where it went.
Yeah.
I
And
tell you
my
where
wife
it
got to
didn't
get
go.
her cut. My hey,
Right.
my wife got to get her. I tell everybody, I'm out here hey, I got to make my wife a check. So that, hey, after bills and stuff, her and
Yeah.
the law, that's where it's going. Her and the law.
And so that's part of the trend, or part of the issue with how we even view money, right? We
Mm-hmm.
it's we never look at it for ourselves. We work every single day spending all of our time, energy, and attention, but we never consider ourselves first, right? So even if you
Mm-hmm.
have a business, well, when the money comes in, ideally you actually want to pay yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
First. So and then typically who you think about or what you think about first has priority. And then we start going down the totem pole, right? But a lot of times, who do we place first?
Bills.
Predators, right? We place other people,
Mm-hmm.
bill collectors, all those
The
The
people
rent.
church,
first, way
the
too
church,
much.
yeah.
Okay. And that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, see, Bishop, he a bishop, so his church he put church first. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's by the time I wake up, other folks have already dipped and dabbed. They already came and got what they needed to get by the
Okay.
time I wake up. I be like, I know I got paid this day. I know I got paid this Friday. I have to
Uh-huh.
call my job sometime and be like, uh, we had payroll this week. Did I work? Be asking
Yeah.
them questions. I work in HR. I'm like, hold on, wait a minute. What y'all doing?
So consider if you
Uh-huh.
were to start paying yourself first, what might that look like? How different would it look? You would always know
Mm-hmm.
what you're getting. I don't care if you have $1 coming in, $10, 100. You can add as many zeros as you want, but you want a cadence, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
when you think about these large conglomerates, don't typically the owners get paid first? They'll let people go just to be able to pay themselves whatever it is they
Oh
want.
yeah. Yeah, I've seen
Okay.
that through plenty of times in my career.
Exactly. And so we have to start learning how to prioritize who's important.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever we have a business, we must look at ourselves first, right? And so we have to understand, who are we? Who are we, number one? So that's really starting with the label. Who are we? What are we? Are we business owners? You guys? You business
I
owners?
am. I am. He
Okay.
is too. He
How
has a
about that
business called
W-2
Love for Life
employee?
Ministry.
Is a
Yeah, I'm a
W-2
W-2
employee a
employee.
business owner?
Right.
Um,
A W
are
two?
we?
No, W two.
That's
No,
a good
W
question. I
nine
don't think
is.
so.
I think a W
Well,
nine is, but not a W two.
I
well,
work
here,
for a business.
okay. But here's the thing. That labeling is so important, right? So we can
Mm-hmm.
understand that if we look at our family or our home, isn't that us handling our business? Our home is our business. Our family is our business. So I
Mm.
kind of want you to understand it from that perspective. But yes, it's not a 1099 contractor, right? That is a difference. It's not your W-2 employee versus contractor, very different. However, when you look at running a business, it's your home and your business are almost like one and the same, though we separate them, but it's still the same.
Mm-hmm.
So what we do over here is what we're going to do over here. Same thing, different labels. All right.
See, I be telling my wife I run this here. I tell her all the time, but she don't believe it. I tell her, I be like, I run this place. This my business. And
Yeah. And
it don't
listen,
run like it don't work like that. That's why I come sometimes to the bowl now with broken legs and black eyes. Yeah. But you said it first. So I'm gonna tell her come after you next time.
So so I have three sons, right? And so
Uh-huh.
every Sunday, I call it, we have a board meeting. All right. Why do we have a board meeting? We have a family
To
business, meaning that
right.
our family, right? It's five of us total, but we need
Mm-hmm.
to meet. We need to go over things. We need to understand what each individual is doing and how they're contributing to the business, right? And that could mean chores, their own finances, family money. It can mean all sorts of things. So that I want people to start thinking your life is your business. On top of the fact that we live in a capitalistic society. So if we're not looking
Mm-hmm.
at things from a business lens, we're kind of missing the whole point of living here.
Mm.
And so what happens, and a lot of times people don't know, even if they're in business or not, they don't know if they're an independent contractor, right? So the
Mm.
moment you, let's just say the moment you accept a bank bonus, right? You become a 1099 contractor. Most people don't know that. So then you're gonna get something in the mail or online, and then you have to file accordingly. So now you have a whole label that you have no idea what it really means and who you
All
are
right.
to the government.
Mm.
So we want to understand who we are. Okay.
Okay.
And so once we do that, we then start looking at, all right, so this is who I am. I have this money coming in, whether it's a business account or a personal bank account, right? So my company, T5 Transit Active Management, I'm partnered with a bank called Relay Financial. We're able to open up business bank accounts. Most people
Mm-hmm.
think, well, I don't have a business, I can't open an account. Well, that's not very true, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you sell a cup of lemonade to somebody, if you take in, you're an independent contractor and you can actually have a business bank account, okay? And
Okay.
so, how to use that? All right, how to use it? Think about how many bank accounts do you gentlemen have now at the same bank? Let's just say you bank with Wells Fargo. How many?
One.
I got. Well, I have two at two different banks. Yeah, I have two.
Okay,
So I have four in
whatever
total.
monies you get in. Okay, four in total. So
Y'all just gonna skip my little one. That's it. Y'all are gonna mention my little one. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I got one.
I think we lost her a little bit. Her we're gonna cut it. I don't think that was a good sight. I think we lost her just a tad bit. Yeah, we
It's
lost her. Hold
okay.
on, yeah, we're gonna try to get her. We're trying to get her back in.
Yeah.
She
She
said that
making some. She making some good
your
points so far though.
man. She said it's a business. I'm telling you. All right, now I'm gonna go. I'm gonna tell my wife that. There she goes. She back. She back. There we go. Can you hear us? Yeah, we can hear you. We got you.
She she froze again.
Yeah, she keep freezing up.
Hmm.
But yeah, she bringing up some good pointers, man. She said her family do a board meeting.
Right. Well, they also have a family business, right? Like
Hmm.
with me, there is a business side to ministry. A lot of people don't understand that. It's
Hmm.
not just religion. You know what I'm saying? You
Right.
still have a business side to
Hmm.
ministry, because we
Right.
still got to pay state taxes and all of this type stuff. You know what I'm saying? We got to stay registered with the state. You know what I'm saying? We have to still pay bills like everybody else. When we was able to, you had to pay musicians, because musicians don't come for free. So
Hmm.
even the church is have a business aspect to it. But what a lot of people don't know is like in my situation, like how do you use that, what I'm saying, to your advantage. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Cause it is some perks to running any business, whether it's a church or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And like we like churches is tax exempt for things like that, right? But
Hmm.
we don't use that. a lot of stuff we don't go around throwing around our EIN number and stuff like that. A lot of stuff we do for the church, we just do it more likely. Most of the time, is out of our pocket because we understand the finances of the church, right? So, what I want to learn from her today is like in my shoes, and I get what she's saying about pay yourself first, but when you have such a big overhead, like if my overhead with my house in the church is huge. You know what I'm saying? Cause I have two things I gotta keep running. I gotta keep my house running, and I gotta make sure that I keep the church running. Even though the church
Right.
also get donations, you know what I'm saying? But if the church come up short, a lot of times that's when me and my wife kick in, and we'll like give extra to make sure that stuff is done. So sometimes, like with me, I realize with my situation, my overhead for both for my house and the church is so huge to where sometimes it's hard to pay yourself first for me because I look at what I got coming in, and then I also look at what I got coming out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So a lot of times it's hard to say, okay, I'm gonna put this aside to myself first. One thing me and my wife decided was I get tips on my job, right? So my one thing we decided is my check go to the house. That my check, whatever that goes to the house, that's to the church. But whatever I get tipped, which is extra money, that I get to keep. You know what I'm saying? And so that's one way we make sure that I'm able to have something. Because sometimes the money that I get that I bring in is just enough to cover my overhead. You know what I'm saying? So I would like to know, like in my position, how do you manage this thing? And maybe a lot of pastors out there that's even in my shoes. You know what I'm saying? We got our
Right.
houses, but we also got the church. So how do we manage this type of situation? Because sometimes the money just not there to pay yourself first. You paying yourself first, meaning something probably gonna go slacking. And my house ain't gonna go slacking. God knows I'm not gonna let God's house go slacking. So
Right.
sometimes, a lot of times, I would do without. Like I'm gonna say this and shut up. We had money saved up, right? But we was blessed with this van. So we didn't take money out of the church. We took the money we had saved and we poured it into this van. So everything we had saved, we poured it into this van. So number one is going to give us another car. Number two is going to give the church a church van. You know what I'm saying? So we are sacrificing that in order to make sure that the church have what it needs.
Yeah, yeah, and I
So
think that's something she's gonna talk about. I think we got her on here. You back on here?
Yes, can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, yeah, we can hear
Okay.
you.
Okay, you just can't see me. Is that correct?
Yep, yep. But you good. That's probably gonna help with bandwidth. So you good.
Okay. All right. So I heard everything you said, old school. Okay. For the most part. And so so hear me out here and listen very closely. Okay. What we prioritize is typically what's most important. So if you do not prioritize yourself and paying yourself first, you will always be last. And what's last may not be enough for you. So you're going to have to build yourself in there to be first. Pay yourself what you want. And whatever is left for expenses is what's left. And so if that means you have to then decrease your expenses, then old school, you got to decrease them. And what happens a lot of times, we live, our expenses are greater than our income, right?
Yeah, and
And
I
so,
think and I know you got a presentation, but we might be on here just a little bit long tonight. Because I want to make sure we get into it, but it's a great conversation. I mean, to old school point, I mean, I don't know, I wasn't there when he was growing up because he's like 3 times my age. But to his point, like for me, I've always seen the struggle. Like I've always seen us just or seen like, even my mom just work just so we can make it, right? So like I guess it's more of like we wasn't taught these. That's why I think this is a great conversation because like where I was growing up in my neighborhood, no one sat down and talked to us about this. They sat like we was sat down and we learned and observed just how to survive and not necessarily how to live, right? And like I'm 32 now, so I'm just now learning how to live, right? I'm just now learning how to be like, you know what? Whatever happens, happens, but I need to enjoy my life as well. You get what I'm saying? So, but a lot of us has have always been on the point of just trying to have been on the point of survival that they don't really know any other way. You get what I'm saying? So I think people want to put themselves first, but don't know how, or is afraid of putting themselves first, and then they're out on the streets, or they're without lights, or they don't have any food, or whatever have you get, or whatever other responsibilities they have with their money. And I think that's where some of the disconnect between my community, or not my our community, and money comes in at.
So, okay. This is not my first time hearing this part, right? And so
Yeah.
what happens is the idea behind, have you guys ever heard of the envelope system?
Mm-hmm.
Just the envelope system, okay? It's
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people that talk about it. And way back when, old school, even your grandmama used to maybe talk about it too. And so what the
That
envelope
means it's
system
ancient.
is that, uh-huh. What we're saying is that if you have all these white envelopes around you, and you
Mm-hmm.
take a little bit of cash, you put it in here for groceries. You take a little bit of cash, you put it away for your utilities, maybe the milkman, maybe the rent, right? Maybe the fuel for the car. That's really all we're talking about. Okay? But we've
Mm-hmm.
just digitized it and we've automated
Mm-hmm.
it because ideally we know that humans, for one, we were not taught this, right? A lot of times the system was built on us, not for us.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, we don't need we a lot of us don't even recognize what a good partner bank is. We do
Mm-hmm.
business with banks and they're taking money from us every single month. That's not a good partnership. So
Right.
it's a lot that we have to learn about money and about how it flows, how it's generated, how it's supposed to be managed, right? The whole stewardship of money. And so what happens is a lot of us end up chasing it when all we have to do is truly understand how it works.
Mm-hmm.
When we talk about accumulation, compounding, right? All these things that no, we're not taught this in school. We're not taught this in school now. Our kids are
Right.
not.
Mm-hmm.
But we have to start somewhere, right? And so that somewhere is understanding that we were not taught. Our brains are always trying to keep us safe. So we go back to doing what we're comfortable with, even though it doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
And so we've just been trained. So now to break that habit, we have to then open ourselves to something different. And so the
Mm-hmm.
accounts that I work with are automated, meaning that it takes the human out of it. So you can
Right.
lack as much discipline as you want, but you're going to still see your money move the way that we want it to. And then
Mm-hmm.
when you start seeing the money move automatically, you're going to say to yourself, oh my goodness, I could have been putting myself first, right? I could have looked
Mm-hmm.
to slash my expenses. I don't need that. I don't need that, right? And start really identifying our wants. So the thing is, what we always say is if you get $100 in, if you take 1% of that, or let's just say take $1 away, you can still live off of $99, couldn't you? Even if you put that dollar somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty much all we're saying is that let's just look at what we're doing with our money now. Okay. I don't care if you have $5 coming in. It doesn't matter how much you have coming in. It's what you do with it when it comes in.
Right.
That's
Right.
it.
Right. So we had a comment in the chat here. True King Larry says, well, first of all, he gave you all the hearts. Let's not minimize the hearts. He gave you
All
all the
right.
love.
Appreciate that, True
And
King Larry.
then he asked, how do we make money work for us?
Okay. All right. Now, let me put it very simply. We need to contain it, right? The moment it comes in our direction, we need to have a container for it. And then that container needs to have some safety mechanisms built in so that we just don't go in there and start taking, and then spending, right? however we want. We actually want to have a purpose for every dollar. So think about this. Think about this. If you have one account, remember I said that we should at least have 5 accounts. And this is on the business side as well as the personal. So if you have 5 accounts, what might be the first account that you have? Let's call it the income account, where nothing but income just travels to. Nothing but income. Okay? It captures everything coming in. And it can come in from W-2, it can come in from your job, wherever it's coming from. You can call this one account income. And then what happens is, do you think that money should sit in there and just do nothing? Should it just stay there? Absolutely not. So ideally, what we want to do is move that money as quickly as possible, right? Because if we're talking about giving every dollar a job, they're our little soldiers. Send them out to work, right? They're supposed to be compounding, helping us, so that when we're asleep at night, that money is working. All right. So the idea is, hey, whatever comes into this one income account, we're going to send it off. Okay. Now, I mentioned 5 accounts. That means we have 4 other accounts sitting and waiting to be funded. So the very next account, if we're looking at prioritizing, the very next account would be your profit account. If we're talking business, right? Even if we're not talking business, what can we say? A profit account can also be looked at as your savings account on a personal side, right? So let's just say, to me, everyone should be buying assets. I don't care if you buy a fractional stock. I don't care if you're saving for a house that maybe you can't get years from now, but you need to put something aside versus nothing. Okay. And so we want to then take and put money or percentage, right? We can do percentages, and that's why I don't like to do dollar amounts. Let's take percentages. And so let's take 1%, put it into our profit or savings account. Then we have our own compensation. Well, for our business owners, yes, you pay yourself for working inside of your business, whatever that number is, or whatever that percentage is. But it's also like paying yourself when money comes in from your W-2 job. You take a certain amount for yourself to do what you want with. Same thing. Okay. So we take a percentage for that. Then what's next? Taxes. Some of us try to avoid them. However, if you know anything about the tax game, it's actually built for us. But that's more advanced. A lot of us, again, we avoid it because we don't know how to play that game. But the game is built for us. And so we want to put a percentage aside for your taxes. Now, we can also call that on a personal side, emergency fund, right? Okay. So, and then lastly would be your operating expenses from a business perspective, operating perspective, and whatever's left in that account, that is what you run your business off of. The same thing with your living expenses. Okay. If you only have left $2,000 out of after income comes in, you put a percentage aside for profit, your own pay, your taxes, whatever's left is what you should be using to live off of. If you don't have enough to pay your bills, something has to change. If it doesn't, you're going to start living above your own means unless you start bringing in more income. And if you ask any billionaire, ask like a Warren Buffett, if everyone follows him, right? What's the most simplest principle is, if your income is greater than your expenses, you will be just fine. But a lot of us, it's not that way, right? But again, the
Expenses are
system is
greater
not.
than the income.
Yes, we have been duped. Okay, duped. We have been lied to, and our brains have gotten used to it. Our lifestyles have gotten used to it, and so we suffer. We suffer, and we're in debt, and we're supposed to be good debtors, right? Not cash flow savvy, but good debtors. Okay, and so we have to be careful at who we look at and who we trust to help us get out of the systemic foolery that we've really been under for all this time.
Right.
Any thoughts?
Oh no, this is good. Like, I mean, like, I know like a little bit about what old school was talking about is like because he even said like he has a big overhead with what he manages at home and at being a breadwinner at home, but then also having to take on the responsibilities of managing the church as well. So like that's what he was talking about while we were trying to get you back on.
Okay, and so I've worked with some nonprofits, not necessarily churches, but it's the same difference. When you again, a
Hmm.
church is a business, it's a nonprofit is just a type of business, right? So instead of us calling it profit, we might call it overage, right? It's just different names or different labels we
Right.
give. But however, the money is supposed to be used for the members, right? And so when you're able to collect an overage, you're actually running a profitable business.
Hmm.
If you're not, then something has to give. But that's why we have to prioritize. So you might have an account for your church or nonprofit, you might fundraising, you might have this program, that program. All of it needs to be allocated, right? And separated. And that's the idea behind it. So if you want to walk away with anything today, it's almost like you want to see it. It's my three S's: see it, separate it, send it. So you want to see all your money coming in. You don't
Hmm.
want to mix that up. You want to then separate all of it. So then you give it a job to do and then you send it where it needs to go. Does that make sense?
That makes sense. Hey, real quick, look, if y'all got any questions or anything while she's on here, she's dropping down some gems. Y'all make sure y'all like first of all like, share, comment, but then also make sure that y'all comment any of your questions or any comments that you might have or experiences that you have so we can talk about them. Get the help while we got them.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so I really like to ask questions
Yeah.
from the audience. And so, is anyone that's in the chat, do you already separate your money? Any way, shape, or form. Any You can use envelopes, you can use I don't care what it is. Separate banks. Do you already separate your money?
Well,
Now,
while they
Well,
come in, I know
I
I don't
do.
separate mine.
Well, I do. Like I heard a lot of older people. Y'all got to excuse me. I'm outside checking on my nephew working on the van. Um, but like I heard a lot of older people, right? They say how they take change from the day, and how they just take their change and they'll throw it to the side in the jar and stuff like that. So now I have honestly started doing that sometime. And one time I did it, I realized I had almost $60, $70 in just change. So sometimes I that's what I do now. As far as the church is concerned, with us, me and my wife, we have our account, but then the church also have its account. So the two never, what I'm saying, cross. So we got we separate money that way. And when I don't start doing, like when I do have a few dollars extra or over, I just throw something, like I say, in my little bag, little change or whatever that I have with me. And I realize sometimes that little bit come in handy when you just saving up little bits of change.
it all adds up, old school. It all adds up. So that's why I say that's the accumulation, right? It's not
Hmm.
necessarily compounding, right? But it's
Yeah.
accumulating. And so we want to make sure that we're accumulating. So whenever money's sitting, somebody should be paying us. Some bank should be paying us to keep our money there. And if they're not, they're really not the ideal partner for you, right?
Mm.
Now when we're talking about compounding, what does that mean? That means now we're multiplying, right? That means that we're looking at our assets. And to me, I don't, if you're making $5 a day, you can still afford an asset,
Hmm.
because ideally you want your assets to be able to swallow any debt. But if you don't start buying assets now and you're always looking for the ideal time, do you ever think that really comes? It really doesn't. It really doesn't. Unless you're hyper intentional and disciplined. And most of us humans lack that.
Yeah. Yeah, I know Tanisha and I I mean, we just started getting all the equipment and stuff we need for the photography business. So now we're going to actually now we're working on like advertisement and stuff like that, so we can start getting gigs and stuff like that. So this will actually be very very helpful for when we get up and running and start actually getting clients and bookings. This will be great because
Yeah,
she want to make sure she get paid. She's like I
and I
need my
was going
money.
to say, with when you have multiple owners, well, guess what?
Hmm.
This account or certain partner banks allow you to open up to 20, even 50. Okay.
Hmm.
So now imagine you're not limited anymore. You can open and close an account right off of your phone, and it costs you nothing. And so when you're able to have these separate accounts, you're able to look into your own compensation account and name it whatever you want. And then your wife is able to as well. Name it whatever she wants. She can take the draw. If you have an LLC, it's called a draw, right? Take the draw. Okay. If you have if you have investors or a profit account, you split
Hmm.
that up. Split it up every quarter or whatever it is you guys agree on. But the money's right there. It's very transparent. You can see it. You can go and touch it because it's there. It's not hiding. And so that's powerful when you can
Yeah.
actually see what you have and go get it when you want it.
Yeah, I like that. Y'all make sure y'all come on in the comments. I know
Yeah, I'm
y'all
waiting
sitting
for
and
some.
listening. If y'all got some questions, yeah, y'all make sure y'all come on in here. Well, while we wait, because I'm pretty sure they acting shy today. I don't know why, but you want to go through your presentation?
So yeah, you can share it. Also send it to them. Okay.
Okay.
You can share it. I think I sent you another one earlier too, right?
Uh,
Make
the
make
one
sure
I
you
have is on the screen now. If the money you need is already coming in, and you just don't know where it's going, that's the one I'm looking at.
okay. I think I texted you another one earlier. I call it my cash flow guide. It's more educational. This one was really just for this session right here. But
Okay.
you can let's see. So this is the okay, again, cash flow conversation. We want to have more conversations around cash flow. It's not a scary thing. A lot of people sometimes they feel shame, embarrassment when you know that you don't have much, or maybe you do have a bunch of money coming in, but it's all going out. And so if I go back a little bit, how I started working with truckers when I first got into this business. And if anyone knows a trucker, they have a lot of cash flow moving through their accounts.
Hmm.
However, a lot of them end up with nothing after expenses. They give it all right back. And so I came in with my cash flow architecture, my systems right inside their bank accounts to be able to do like a what I call like a pattern disrupt. This is not okay, right? You're not in business for a hobby. It's not that. You're not doing it. You're doing it so that the business can support whatever lifestyle that you want. So
Right.
we have to learn how to extract the money and know what to do with it. And so a lot of times we need a mindset shift. We need a simple system, right? A lot of us don't understand structure or systems, but they work so that you don't have to think about your finances anymore. You can just do what you do best. Okay. And so
Hmm.
we want to be able to capture all the money coming in, give it a job to do, and send it on its way without you
Yeah.
even touching it. We want to predetermine. Okay. And that's what we do. I automate that whole process. And we can do it for our business money and we can do it for our personal money.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can scroll down a little bit. Let's see.
Okay, hold on. My mother-in-law said nowadays most banks are only getting little or not or only giving little or nothing in interest. One of my account pays a penny in interest per month.
Okay. So that is what I call a bad partner. And a lot of your bigger banks, they don't give you anything back. However, a lot of your more modern financial tech companies that's partnered with these traditional banks, they will offer you at least 3.3% APY, right? And that's over the course of a year. However, the more money you have, it will accumulate.
Hmm.
And also we look at different functionalities for the account. We look for automation. We don't want you doing anything manually anymore. Why? Because typically, let's just say you start doing it, you're not going to keep that habit going. All right. So we like to automate the process. And then we like to understand, what does a good partner look like?
Right.
All right. So that means that they're not charging you any monthly minimum account fees. They're not charging you for having a zero balance, because we zero out our income account, don't we?
Yeah.
We have one account where all money flows in, and we take all the money from that and we move it. Okay. And some banks like to close your account for that. They like to charge you for. No, we're not going to work with banks like that. And so you're going to see, as time goes on, you're going to see a lot of banks changing. All right. They cannot stay the same. They won't last. As more people become awoke to the experience of, you guys are not good for me, right? You have to actually identify what's good for you and what's not. All right. And so let's see, you've been managing money your whole life. You just didn't have a name for it. So scroll down just a little bit. Okay. So every choice you make with money shapes your future. We understand that. When you pay attention to your money, it starts to behave. So I'm big into neurology, quantum physics. And so this kind of points to that, is that in neurology, we are already wired, like our brains are always trying to protect us. And so this is why anything we do is going to be considered a good habit or a bad one. And a lot of us have many bad habits that are not going to get us to the levels that we actually want to go to. We can want it all day long. It just won't happen. And so we want to be able to build new myelin in our brain, new connections, right? And so what we do when we think about our money, if you wanted to start manually, we could do that. But I always recommend, let's start automatically. Let's have our little robot help us. And when you start seeing money accumulate and compound, and maybe now you can afford a stock, maybe now you can afford another kind of asset, maybe life insurance, and you can keep that payment going, you're going to get excited about it, right? And so, so when it comes to quantum physics, what you observe, right, you can kind of collapse time on what you observe, and it becomes real. And so we want to start observing our money growing, instead of staying in what I call like a survival mode, right? Maybe robbing Peter to pay Paul, or whatever the saying is, right? We don't want to stay in that mode anymore. All right, because what happens, our fear center, or our amygdala, it's always stimulated. It's always trying to protect us, but it's the fear center. Instead of thinking through and being creative, which is where the prefrontal cortex of our brain comes in, we're always in like reaction defensive mode. We can't grow like that. Can't do it. Okay. And so we always have choices, right? I tell my boys that it doesn't matter. You can make a choice, and our life is what? An accumulation of choices, just like our money growth, accumulation of choices. All right. So we want to start using certain language that brings in that cash flow, that keeps it moving, right? So right here, I have a quote. You've been telling yourself, I'm not good with money. That's not true. You were never shown how. And the system was built for us to be confused and not even know how. So we have two things going against us. But if you want to stop, then I always say today can be the day. All right, let's keep it going. All right, same envelopes, different labels, one truth. So I kind of went through this already, right? Whether you run a business or a household, money works the same way. It needs a job, and we need to give it a purpose, a defined purpose. If you just let it come in and do kind of willy-nilly, well, it's going to probably leave willy-nilly, right? And so that's not what we want. We actually want to have an account, and you can call it willy-nilly, spend it on what you want, vacation account, whatever it is, but we want to have an account for it. Okay. And this is all under cash flow management. A lot of us do cash flow mismanagement, but we're talking about cash flow management. Okay. So you can keep going through that. All right. Your grandmother knew this. She called them envelopes. We're just bringing it back. So nothing new here. Okay. 6 accounts, 6 jobs, total peace of mind. All right. So we're not talking about budgeting. A lot of times people don't know how to budget, right? But with these bank accounts, I like to actually call it bank account accounting. So when you open your phone up or you go to your computer and you open your banking app, you can see in real time what you can afford. You can see how much you can spend on groceries. We take the thinking out of it. You can see how much you can afford for fuel for the week, right? Or for your kids' sporting events, whatever it is, we just give it a job. That's all we're talking about. So you can see here on your personal side, we can call it living vault, savings vault, emergency vault, joy vault, growth vault, giving vault. You can call it whatever you want. But then we know that when we take a percentage of our paychecks, whatever money goes into the joy vault, that's what you have. When that account ends up on 0, you don't have any more for that joy, right? But if you have an emergency, who has money for an emergency, right? Who has it now? You have it. And you have it because you set it aside. So you don't have to take or steal from Peter or Paul or from your giving vault or your growth vault. You just can't do anything in your joy vault because you spent it all already.
Right.
Now we're talking about discipline, right? Bring more income in then. If you want to have more joyful times, bring more income in or wait till it fills up again. All right. And so I like to think if we just start with 1, I know people get overwhelmed very easily as well. So we start with one account. Open 1 new account this week. Give it a name. Put a dollar in it. That's it. That's how it begins. All right. We're all managing our lives. That makes every one of us capable of this system, no matter your age, income, or background. Absolutely. I have my sons following the same system. My youngest is 10. So every Sunday we go through their finances. Right?
That's
So
your board conversation, right? Your board meeting.
It's my family board meeting. And I call it my sovereign architects because they're the architects of their own lives, just like we all are. So a few honest questions, okay? No grades, no wrong answers, just you and the truth. So what I want everyone to do on the call, or whomever whoever ends up getting this presentation, whoever you share it with, when you schedule a meeting with me, I like to hold no more than 15-minute meetings, right? So I can get a gauge for you, you can get a gauge for me. But I want you to think about these questions, all right? Because I want you to have answers to all your questions. And so when I think about money, what's the first feeling that comes up? Okay. Some people are more feeling oriented than others. And so some can answer this question very quickly, but we all have an answer for it. All right. And if it's stress, we want to actually start shifting that to a better feeling because we all know that stress will take years off of our life and we don't want that. All right. Right now, do I know exactly where my money is going? Most people, the answer is no, other than bills. But if you can tell me the purpose of every dollar, you can tell me, hey, Tahira, I 50% goes to me. That's my compensation. 30% to all my expenses, 1% to profit, 2% to tithing or to giving. All right. So whatever it is, you should be able to tell me your numbers, your percentages. Am I taking care of myself financially or just everyone else? Okay, that's understanding how to put ourselves first. We want to think like the Home Depots of the world, these big conglomerates. Why not? Right? You can still take care of others, but if you're not taking care of yourself, how can you then really take care of others if you're struggling or stressing?
Right. You can't pour from an empty account. I like that.
If money wasn't a worry, what would be different about my life? And so I want you to visualize that, right? And that would be your reason. What have I been waiting for to get this right? Whatever the answer is, the wait is over. And so I want everyone to think about those questions, sit on them for a bit, but bring those questions to the call, right? I'm not about judging. It's really about real conversation, bringing your authenticity, because the more authentic you are, the more we can create a structure for it. Remember, we can create up to how many accounts? 20. Two of them give you interest, right? Two savings accounts within those
Mm-hmm.
within the 20. Some people say, oh my God, 20 accounts. You don't have to have 20 accounts, but we're going to have a minimum of 5. But if you
Right.
don't think we can handle that, we can actually start with 3. But what do most banks start you with anyway? One checking and one savings, right?
Yep, that's 2.
But
Mm-hmm.
we have to start being more disciplined and saying, I need to separate my money a little bit better than that. All right. So let's see. You've seen a system, you feel the shift. Now there's one thing left to do, not a course, not a PDF, not a checklist, a real conversation, 15 minutes where we walk through where you are, where you want to go, and what's getting in the way. And so what happens is I call myself a cash flow architect, but I can also call myself a chief financial officer, right? So I do work beside CEOs, no matter how small the business is or how large the business is. And so what we do, we can reverse engineer. If you say, listen, Tahira, I need to make, I don't know, 200 grand this year. We can always reverse engineer your numbers and say, okay, this is a plan that we need to set forth, right? And so I want you to come to the call with some thoughts, some objectives. You could say for those business owners, hey, I want to be able to hire 2 people this year. Well, guess what we can do? Can't we create an account for it and
Mm-hmm.
start putting a little bit of money aside very slowly? For your photography business, you want new equipment? Maybe it costs $1,000. We start doing our bank account accounting or budgeting for that thing. So
Oh
it
yeah, but
doesn't
that stuff
take away.
expensive. I just dropped a very very big, very large chunk of change on this new camera.
And
So
see,
yeah,
here's
that
the
stuff is
thing.
expensive.
And the timing of that matters too, right? And so we
Mm-hmm.
always, again, as a chief financial officer of any company, the goal is how much money can we save you? Okay, if
Yeah.
you're trying to meet a certain objective, we have to be very strict, not in a bad way, because you still have freedom within that structure. Why? Because we separate your money. So your play account, well, that's the money you play with. However, if you're saying, listen, I need this equipment and I need it within 3 months, then we're going to start prioritizing, right? And we're going to put
Mm-hmm.
certain percentages in that account.
Yeah.
But it touches nothing else that you have going on. Make sense?
That makes perfect sense.
Okay.
Y'all,
All right.
y'all, look. She is here giving she's here giving good insight and like telling us exactly what it is and what we need to do, how to manage money, how to put a name and put a job to the money that comes in. She did give me her phone number. Let me put it on here so everybody can have it. Look, she only thing she said was just look, come with a phone call. She's not here to give you a pitch or anything like that. She just here to see where you at and how she can help. So y'all give her a call 404-200-1916, or you can email her at ta@actamgmt.com. T5 Transit to Hero. So y'all make sure y'all give her a call.
Yeah, okay, you can still hear me, right? So that
Yep.
so TA at Active. So I have a parent company, Active Management. That's more so management consulting. And then
Mhm.
T5 Transit, I told you I started off working with truckers. So we still
Mhm.
kind of run that department. But it's both, right? The T5 is a subsidiary and owned 100% by Active Management.
Yeah.
So you're going to see those two names interchangeably. All right.
All right.
So
We don't have any questions in the chat, but I want to just say thank you very much to Hero for coming on here and dropping your knowledge. Look, y'all, don't let this slide y'all by, slip y'all by. She came, she gave out some great tips and tricks on how to get started. Y'all give her a call. The least y'all can do is spare 15 minutes to make your lives better. I know when me and the wife starts, getting up and running. She bowled right next to us almost every week. So I already know how to get in contact with her. So y'all make sure y'all give her a call. Like I said, 404-200-1916. All right, y'all give her a call.
I
All right.
appreciate that. And listen, remember, you don't have to wait until you have everything together
Mm-hmm.
because the system actually helps you get everything together. So it's very foundational. Matter of fact, I don't even like people waiting. You need to get with me when you don't have it together
Mm-hmm.
because I'll get you together. Right.
Yeah.
So you know what you can spend money on, what you can't, and start having the discipline to do it.
Yeah. And my mother-in-law said, thanks, great information.
Oh, you're very welcome, Miss Williams. Very, very welcome. Happy to
Yes,
be
yes,
here.
yes. Old school, anything you want to say? Anything you got?
No, I was listening, man. Sorry that I'm busy. Actually, out here trying to. Um, I'm sitting in a non-running hot van. Praise the Lord. So, um, I'm I get what she was saying, but like I was saying, with my issue is, it's like before I even get it, before I even get everything, like with me, before I even get it, it's pretty much already most of the time, not all of the time, but before I even get it, like with me, the money is already gone. You know what I'm saying? And that's what makes it hard for me to actually, put money to the side and do all this type stuff. Like I say, because of my responsibilities and my overhead and how I live my life. Now, mind you, a lot of people try to live beyond their means. That's not me. You know what I'm saying? I'm very very particular with my finances. It's just like trying to figure out how to squeeze something else out of what I already got. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to figure out without the feeling or the threat that something gonna wind up going short.
So,
I don't. Go ahead.
also, I love what you're saying because a lot of people are in that same position, and so that's why it's important for us to identify where you are. Are you spending 90% or 95% of your money on expenses and only able to keep 5%? Right. So we
Yes.
want to understand where those numbers and where those percentages fall. And then
Hmm.
we start kind of working backwards to lower those percentages or shift them around. And so
Right.
it takes time. You can't we
Right.
just not going to jump over and say, this is the ideal percentage. Can't do that. It's not realistic. But
Right.
with 1% at a time, 1% changing here, 1% there, the shift actually happens.
I got you.
Okay. So, but you
I
got to
got you.
start somewhere, right? But we have to see where your numbers are actually falling personally and in your business.
Oh, bills. I could tell you right off, right off the
Uh-huh.
bat. I
Uh-huh.
could tell
Yeah. I mean,
I could tell you, that's why I was saying like I don't do a whole lot of outrageous spending. That I know. You know what I'm saying? I don't do a whole lot of outrageous spending. So I guess if I can eliminate, like you were saying, some of my overhead, it would help. But like even still, like you say, even that's gonna take some time.
oh yeah, it takes a little bit of time, but you won't be well, maybe you will be surprised at how fast it will take once we start going, right? And I really just have to ask you 5 questions. I can already understand your percentages. It's not hard to tell with people, right? and
Right.
so and so what we do, again, we're identifying where you are, where's your starting point, and then where do you want to be. And then that's where with my expertise, we get you to be where you want to be in the time frame that's most realistic. Right. So if you're someone who's a little bit more aggressive, maybe you can go after a different income stream. It depends. Or maybe you want to just kind of keep everything steady where you are and just reduce some of your expenses. Maybe you can say, you
Right.
know what, I really don't need this. I really don't need that. It's really identifying what's a need, what's a want, what's revenue producing.
Hmm.
Okay. So it's us really getting into the data and just working one thing at a time without feeling any overwhelm, any stress. That's what it's about.
I got you. I'm with you. Like I say, I love the information. God knows I do. I needed it.
Well, old school, it
I
sounds
needed
like you need to sit down and have a 15-minute conversation with her. And if so, you can give her a call at 404-200-1916. Give her a call. Call her up. Who is really C. George Sr. said this is a good topic.
that's me and my wife's cousin.
Okay. The name threw me off. the name throws me off. Hey man.
Yeah.
Well, once again, we want to thank you. Thank you to Hera for joining. Everyone, please make sure. Let me put the number back on here again, so y'all won't say that y'all don't have her contact information. Y'all make sure that y'all go ahead and y'all give her a call, or if you know anyone that is in need of her services, share this information. Share her phone number. Share her email address, and tell them to give her a call. Let them
Absolutely.
know. Look, I hope y'all really got something out of this. I want to thank you again to Hera for joining. This has been a long time in the making, so I'm glad we finally got you on.
Yes.
Looking forward to any other partnerships that we have. And like I said, thank you for joining. I hope you kick butt on tomorrow. And throw some strikes for me because I'm sure gonna miss it.
All right. I'm ready. I'm ready.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and close it out. Thank you again. All right, everybody. Well, y'all heard it first from the lady herself. Look, y'all made sure she sat down and she talked about how not to actually just be spending it just willy-nilly, but how to put a job to your dollar, right? And she said a lot of stuff. She said just start off with $1, get one account and put it all in $1. Like the old man said in that song, these last $2. So look, put them last $2 in that account. All right. Instead of putting it on that jukebox and on the bus fare, put it in them accounts. All right. And make sure y'all go ahead and hit her up, man, so y'all can get started. Look, I know from my perspective is me and my friends will never talk this. We was only taught on how to survive. So this is great information. I hope y'all got something out of it. If you just now joining, please make sure that you all go in and listen to the playback. If Facebook will delete after a while. So go to YouTube at YBOS podcast and actually, watch it. Give her a call. Let me put her number back on there one more time. Give her a call, 404-200-1916, or send her an email at ta@actamgmt.com. Y'all make sure y'all hit her up. All right. Look, now that we know, we can't say we don't. Now it's all up to you. Rilla said, put up more than you spend. Save your money. One day your money will save you. Amen to that one. And that's all we talking about. It just putting your money in a place where it needs to go. All right. Other than that, old school, you got any last words?
Hey man, my
All right. Well, we lost old school. So I will close us out. Look, had a great time. I really do thank Tahira for joining. And I thank y'all as always for joining and tuning in every week and making this the show that we all know and love. Look, if y'all have any topics or anything that y'all want to learn about, we had someone come in about insurance. Now we have someone talking to us about how to actually manage the money. So if y'all have anything y'all want to talk about, if we know the person, we gonna bring them on. So if y'all have anything, let us know. Other than that, I wish you all have a great week, and we love y'all, and there's nothing y'all can do about it.